We are so glad you stepped up to volunteer. We hope that this experience is an excellent for both you and the families and players you get to work with. Just remember, to be an excellent soccer coach, you first need to have a growth mindset. You next need to be able to connect with players. You need to be able to communicate well to those players, those parents, and the families and the clubs. And then finally, you need to have meaningful soccer knowledge. But you can always grow that as well. We are hopeful that you will help build our Noblesville United Soccer Club culture. This includes mastery, rewarding effort, feeding forward, saying next time you'll do better, and not focusing on mistakes, but letting players develop. We hope you'll be able to build your trustingness with your players, check in with players to show empathy, voice and choice, give them options sometimes in practices, and reflect on what you could do better as you coach. We hope you fill the emotional tank of your players by being positive, catch them being good, help them praise and cheer on each other, and have 5 positive things to say for every 1 improvement point. And finally, we want you to help you honor the game by being mindful of how you respond and react to issues. How do you seek out teachable moments for their life that go outside of soccer? And finally, how you connect the soccer to the overall life and development of the player. If you can do these things, you will help continue to make Noblesville United a great place to not only coach. U7 and U8 rules are the exact same. So if you're to coaching in either division, you'll have the exact same rules and you'll play on the exact same fields. You'll be playing 5v5. You'll use a size 3 balls. You'll continue to play 4 10-minute quarters. But again, you have the field for the entire hour. So if you choose to, for example, play 5 minutes, make substitutions, stop the clock, and then play 5 minutes so everyone gets to play half the game, that's fine as long as you wrap up in about an hour so we can get cars in and cars out of traffic. Coaches will not be on the field in the same sense as they were when they were at U6. What we would like is for coaches to work on either side of the field but stand near the out of bounds lines to help with throw-ins, to help with different skills that are needed along the edges. So ideally that's what would be happening. There will be a goalkeeper now that can use their hands. They can use their hands inside the box. This person can only throw and roll or kick or pass the ball from the ground out. There's no punting, no drop kicks. And the ball, yeah, we'll leave it there. We won't go beyond that. We want everyone to move to half field when that happens. There will be goal kicks taken from, you can take it from the edge of your goal box. There will be throw-ins. We're working on now the skill of putting 2 feet down, put the ball behind your head and throw it in properly. No headers, no direct kicks, meaning that if you decide to call a foul, because you guys will be refereeing your own games, if you decide to call a foul, it's not like they can kick the ball directly into the goal. It needs to touch at least one other player. There'll be no offsides. Unlimited substitution, so just, I would recommend both coaches sub about the same time, halfway through each of your quarters. No slide tackling. Everyone plays half the game, and they would ideally play a little bit of each quarter from your bench perspective. So play 5 minutes, sit 5 minutes, something like that, and then play 5 minutes, sit 5 minutes. So you can have mix and match your team, because usually we'll put 8 or 9 people on your team, so you'll have plenty of subs. Player equipment, again, you may have players still who don't have cleats, but they do need shin guards. But at this point, hopefully players have their cleats on as well. There'll be no referee, so you coaches will just handle it. You can whistle. You can, use a yell. You can do different things like that, but a light whistle probably is what's best. Again, there's a code of conduct that we want everyone to behave, parents, players, everybody. The goal here is to have fun and cheer everyone on and be positive. Obviously, there's red cards, but not really because there's no referees. You can borrow a player if you need it, if that player's of the right age for the division of play. And then we will not keep score, just so you know, at this level either. We're not going to start that process. So all you'll really need to do is just coach the game and encourage good sportsmanship. And there'll be no standings. So that's a quick overview of the rules. U7 and U8 will practice on the east side of the facility at fields 9 through 12 listed here in these 5v5 fields. When you pull in, you can park along this edge here, or you can park down this edge here, obviously to gain quick access to these fields. You will have 2 practice windows each night. You'll be scheduled either for example, Monday at 5 p.m. or a Monday at 6:30 p.m. We recommend at this age level that you practice 5 practice 45 to 60 minutes max, not over 60 minutes. Just attention span is just not there yet, but it is increasing, so you can go a little longer than you did at U6. With that said, then that means you could start your practice at 5:15 and end at 6:15, or you can start it at 5:30 and then end at 6:30. There are a lot of teams in this division, and there's only 4 fields, so we do mean to make sure that you do end at 6:30 on your night if you have that earlier time spot to allow the additional teams onto the field, so they can start their practice on time and quickly. U6 through U8 player characteristics are of immaturity. They're growing, they're exploring, they're not going to be able to do everything you ask of them. They will not, they will be easily distractible. So a few of those things to keep in mind is one, that they have a short attention span. What this means is that you need to keep your questions simple. You know, did you have fun? Yes. What did you just now do with the ball? Kick it, right? Keep it simple. Keep your instructions brief and to the point. A good rule of thumb is you have 4 seconds per that player's age, maybe of attention span, and probably not even that. So if you're dealing with a 6-year-old, you might have 24 seconds to talk to them where they're paying attention, maybe 12. The goal would be just to keep them involved, so as they see other people doing things and you give instructions like, that's a great job where you're dribbling the ball, Jenny. Other players will see that and hear that, and we will start to get more involved in the play. And then your activities need to be pretty short and varied. Probably wouldn't do anything more than 5 to 10 minutes in a practice time, because they simply will lose attention on it. The next thing to remember is that they want to live in the moment. So they need to have immediate feedback. Great job, Jenny, on dribbling the ball forward. Only ask questions about what's currently happening on the field. What did you just now do with the ball? Don't ask them about what you did at the beginning of practice. They won't remember. And anything you can do to the current moment is going to be a positive. Finally, just keep in mind they are self-focused. That means that it's okay that they're selfish, right? Because they basically see the ball as their plaything and they want a ball. This is why we have so few players at this level of play. It's because they want that ball at the foot and they want to be playing with it. And so sometimes actually the game is harder for them to play than the practice because the ball's not at their foot. But anytime they do anything even accidental, like if they kick a ball and it goes to a teammate, even though they're really just trying to dribble the field and score, praise, great pass, and encourage that type of sharing and teamwork to go through it. And then just do everything you can to just help them make like they're part of the team, right? Is that everyone gets a chance to lead the cheer during the season, right? At the end, anything you can do to make them feel connected, it's going to be positive for their experience. You are trying to help your players do the following things at their current age. You're trying to help them understand the 4 phases of soccer. What does it mean to be attacking, trying to score a goal? What does it mean to be defending, trying to defend your goal? And then how do you transition between these items? How do you get the players to move back to defense and forward to the attack? Additionally, at U6, U7, and U8 soccer, you are trying to teach them to shoot and pass or dribble forward and understand those concepts, along with how to spread out, create passing options, and support the attack. Transition so players all move up the field together to support the attack. You are also trying to teach them how to protect the goal, steal the ball. So those are words you should be utilizing. Can we protect our goal? Can we steal the ball? And then how to make it compact and keep it compact. Basically, this is the idea that everyone wants to move towards the goal to score, so defenders need to be towards the goal to score, not standing out wide or up the field. The player actions for U6 through U8 are as follows on the attack. The first one is shooting. This simply means a player tries to kick the ball into the opposing team's goal. Most players will have an understanding how to do this and will want to do this, and you'll have to do very little coaching to help them understand that concept. The next concept is dribbling forward. Players will learn to use their feet, hopefully both eventually, to dribble the ball to get themselves into an opportunity to then create a shot after dribbling the ball forward up the field. Passing will be the next skill, and it may take a little bit of time for players to develop this skill. They initially may not want to pass it all to a teammate, and then they may want to only pass to a teammate that's their friend. In order to pass the ball up the field, another player needs to run up the field, so then this player can make a pass to that player up the field. Frequently, it'll look something like this bunch ball at the younger levels. One of the things you want to teach them to do is to spread out. So in this case, the number 9 has the ball. So if we want to see the 11 and the 7 spread out as 9 carries or maybe dribbles the ball up the field to provide more space and to spread out the defense. Next, we want to see then players making runs to create passing opportunities so that this player can then pass them the ball. Finally, we want all players to support the attack by specifically making sure that this backline defender doesn't stay back but pushes up the field to provide the support required to help connect these together to create a unit working together to score on the goal. Transitioning to the attack portion, now the blue team, which is our focus team, has lost possession of the ball and they need to now protect their goal. To do this, they simply need to get back defensively down the field so that they're in their own defending half to then stop the red team from scoring the goal. The next thing they want to do as the red team moves this ball around is provide opportunities to potentially steal the ball by confronting a player. Soccer is a physical sport and they will touch each other. Next, the defense wants to become compact to defend their goal, because when they're trying to score, you can see that they want to go straight towards this goal. So the more defenders blue puts in a compact situation, the less likely is this player will be able to dribble through everyone or even get to the goal to score. Those are the basic player actions for both U6, U7, and U8. These should be a focus of your coaching both in practices and in games to help these players learn these concepts. Because remember, there's no score being kept. We're not trying to win the game. We're trying to help these players develop so that their coach next time when they have the next coach for their next team has players who already have these skills and these player actions understood so that they can be immediately a good member of the team. In U7 and U8 divisions, we would like you to play a diamond formation. You can see the players here are in a diamond shape and are connected. We have a diamond shape in our formation plus our goalkeepers. We just add an extra player to the field over U6. The number 1 is your goalkeeper. Your number 4 is a center back. Your number 7 is your right wing. Your number 11 is your left wing, and your number 9 is your striker or your forward. And these define their roles along with positionally how they look and see the field. But as you play the game, your formation turns into a shape. So depending on where the ball is on the field will depend on where players need to be. So the ball ends up in the right hand corner here in the attack. We may find our 9 coming over and our 7 providing support, our 11 providing width, and then our 4 pushes up, or our center back, to provide an outlet and defensive cover on the field. Now defensively, if the ball is on their own half, the 4 will obviously drop back, but we need our outside wings to drop back defensively, and then our 9 will hang out near the top, shifting left and right, looking for opportunities to win the ball back and counterattack out of the soccer. So depending on which phase of the game you're in, the attack, the defense, or the transitional moment, will depend on the shape of what your team will be doing. So let's quickly talk about also starting games and restarting games. So let's start with game starts. So when the game starts, it's a kickoff, and so it's pretty easy. Line them up in their positions in their formation at the start of the game. When this player goes to kick the ball off, the number 9 for blue, they can only touch the ball once. They should try to kick the ball backwards to a teammate. When that ball gets kicked backwards to a teammate, initially we would like only the number 9 to push up and put pressure on this so we can build up, and then you can release your wings to come put pressure. What we're trying to do is keep people not bunched together but staying out and in better shape. And I see I don't have a 4 on the field. Let me put a 4 out here, center back here. We're trying to keep people spread out so they can build out of that space. That's how kickoff should work. So basically the team on the back side, or defending team on a kickoff, should hang back. The attacking team should pass backwards, and then initially only the number 9 goes, and after 2 or 3 seconds, then let your other players push up the field as well. When the ball goes out of bounds on the sideline, we would do a throw in using our hands. This would be 2 feet down. Ball goes over our heads and extends and then gets thrown onto the field. Coaches should be in a position on each side to help them. So coaches, I'd like you guys to be positioned here and here to basically help out both teams whenever these things happen and to make appropriate calls. When we do this, the attacking team wants to make a diamond with their player. So I would always use your wing to throw the ball in. So your 7 or your 11, depending on which side of the field you're on. So let's say blue's going this direction, so the left wing throws the ball in. This will allow for the 9 to be defended by the 7, the right wing, the 9 on the red to defend the left wing, and then provides an outlet where this person hopefully will learn to push back. It'll allow this player to come up and then this player to come up and play defense this way. That's an ideal world. But what we're trying to do is basically make sure that everyone spreads out. So make sure the attacking team spreads out and that we allow basically a free backwards pass for the team, if able to allow them to pass backwards so we can build up and keep the ball on the field on a throw-in. In this situation, the ball has gone off the end line off of the red team, and so blue gets a corner kick. The ball will be placed in the corner, and then again I'd use your wing to try to kick the ball into a teammate and line yourself up something like this. Probably what's going to happen is that this red 7 is going to get the ball, and that'll teach everyone to learn how to transition back defensively for blue quickly. It'll be a huge advantage on that situation. So that's how you take the corner kick. In this scenario, red has kicked the ball out of bounds on the in line here, and so blue gets a corner kick. So the goalkeeper will put the ball anywhere along this line, possibly right here, and has the opportunity to kick the ball into a teammate. We would love for the center back to come and provide support as a short pass, and then the 7 and the 11 or the wing players to come back to provide an option. Additionally, we would like all of the red team to be on their own half. We would like only the red player, the number 9, to be the player who initially attacks. So when this ball gets kicked, let's say here, then the number 9 is released to move up the field. After 2 or 3 seconds, then you can release your 7 and your 11 in, giving an opportunity. So we're trying to give opportunities for these players to learn to build and play together, perhaps and connect passes around, and not just line everybody up and then overwhelm as soon as the ball comes in, because these players are athletic and chomping at the bit, and you have all these players just attack the ball and win the ball and easily score a goal. So we want to avoid that. The final thing we want to mention is that the goalkeeper space is very, very small on this field. So the goalkeeper are allowed to use their hands inside the box and they can throw the ball out. When the goalkeeper has possession of the ball, same kind of setup applies. Pull everybody back and give ourselves an opportunity to restart play, but utilizing the goalkeeper's hands and to make it easier to restart play. There are tons of resources to help you plan a practice or a training for your team. Noblesville United has purchased the Team Snap Mojo content, which comes from US Youth Soccer. And when you log into your Team Snap app, you will find that based on the level of play you have, there are curriculum already built in that you can simply open up, look at, and apply. There's tons, I think there's 12 different curriculums in there, so you have plenty to go through the entire season. The next thing is we have our YouTube channel where I have things posted that you can watch and look at, and I will post different ideas for you at different times, and I will send out emails to you with those resources. We also have a whole collection of Noblesville United Soccer coaching resources at our website. These include guidebooks with suggested activities for different levels, individual skills, and other information. I will link to this resource in the video below. Indiana Soccer also has a whole collection of resources, so depending on which level of play you are, you can open those up and you'll be given a whole lot of different weeks and volumes, so for over 2 seasons of PDFs with different activities to run and understand. I also recommend one more. Soccer Drive provides resources as well for practice planning. I have a paid account, so mine might look a little different than yours, but for different divisions, you will find different practice plans that you can view and open up to work on different ideas and concepts. There's a bazillion more on the internet. Your only thing you really need to do is make sure you're organized and spend a little time before practice. Is that 30 minutes a weekend? Just getting ready to figure out what it is that you want to do in practice this week, but it's not. You should always have things ready to go and resources at your fingertips to be successful. On game day, your field will probably look something like this. You'll have lots of parents, grandparents, and siblings all wrapping around your field, but you're going to try to keep them to one side of the field. They may be all up on the sidelines. Try to get them to move back 2 or 3 feet so you have a little bit of room for the players to throw the ball in. Otherwise, they'll be standing on top of people. So the sooner you can kind of train parents to do that, the better off we're going to be. Players will now sit together on the bench, and it'll be on one side of the field. There will be benches for them to sit on. And then ideally, we'd have 4 coaches. So one coach working with the bench, one coach basically running this quadrant, etc. This will allow for coaches to help with throw-ins, goal kicks, kick-ins, etc. Encourage coaching. So even though we say there's no coach on the field, in the sense that you're not wandering up and down the field with the players, you're trying to manage them in a space compared to U6 soccer, trying to on the bench, but just trying to make sure that there's still good coaching coverage. If a coach is not available, have a parent step up and do it. And if a parent wants to then volunteer to be a coach and go through the process, we are happy to give their kid a refund to help out, reimbursement. So this is what you should kind of expect on game day. Yeah, and just remember, every single dead ball, get them spread out. Just remember to help players spread out every single time the ball goes out of bounds or we have a restart and play on a goal kick or a kickoff. And at the end of the game, make sure that you line your players up, have them give a high five, and if you want to pull the parents in and do a tunnel, have the kids run through it or something of that nature, please do so. You are doing your awesome job at coaching at this level of soccer when the kids are having fun and they're smiling and they want to come back the next practice and the next game. Thank you for volunteering.